I met a gypsy.
It's fascinating to watch it now through the lens of social media. Like you just see it all, and it seems like it comes in hot and fast and from every angle. You know, it's interesting. But I think it's like, look, I have this conversation all the time because I have young kids now, and like the idea of like social media and you know how the bad that social media can be. You know, we also wrestle with the good of it. You know, and I do think it is good that you know we can work out a lot of these issues, and people get to watch how kind of the sausage is made. I guess you could say.
Yeah,
I think that's good. That doesn't mean social media doesn't have challenges. It's like money, right? It's like it can be used for good and it can corrupt the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Same with social, you know?
How do you feel about like social media and kids and screens and like that whole thing? It's a wild, wild west for parents. I feel like.
It's like I'm the parent group that's figuring this out, right?
Yeah,
like my generation is having to solve this problem. And I think I have a little bit of a unique take on it because I use social media for everything I do, right? It's been such a powerful tool for me. So this is at least where I'm at now. And anybody listening, watching, just know that this may change. I'm trying to figure this out in real time. We are very, very limited with what we allow our kids to do with the phones. They are not on any social media. My oldest is 11, so they're still young. When we allow them to do that, will probably be later than where most people do or most parents do. But I am and my wife, we are attempting to teach them skill sets that they can then apply to social media to use it for whether they want to build a business or whatever they want to do. I'm just trying to do it behind the scenes of actually using social media. So like, you know, an example of it would be, I really want to get to the point where we're creating like a Etsy store, we're creating some type of store that they can then sell product through, right? Yeah. But before that, we've been doing kind of a real life example. Okay, girls, what product do you guys like? Oh, we like doing these, you know, garland balls. Okay, let's order a bunch of felt and let's build these garland balls. Let's package it. Let's shoot photos, right? And let's go to a farmer's market and sell it. So we're going through that experience. So at least they can have the physical concept of what it takes to have an idea, create something, and then sell it, right? Yeah. Then mixed with, like, I'm trying to create videos with the kids that we are not putting on social media. Yeah. But I want them to get used to
have the experience.
Creating content, right?
Yeah.
And then there will be a time where we bring it all together and go, all right, girls, we're going to create a store. This store is the digital example of what we did in real life. All right, Scarlett, Amelia, you know how we make these videos of storytelling. Okay, now we're going to create those and we're going to use it to sell the product, right? I am just not sold yet on what age that is. I don't know yet, you know? Like, as of right now, is it 12, 13, 14, 15? For us, no. It's too young for us.
Yeah.
But do I want them to completely avoid social media? No. I believe that their generation will only use it. Like the idea, like it's interesting. I think about this all the time. Right now, you can get away with business without social media. Like there's a small time when you can do that now, right? But the generations that are going to come, right? Gen Z, Alpha, they're not like my generation, right? They didn't grow up and then all of a sudden social media was introduced to them. They grew up in social media. They are content creators by birth, right? When they come in and start building business, you better imagine that social media is going to be completely, you know, intertwined in their business, and they will be unbelievable at creating content.
Yeah.
And if you're a business now and think you're going to compete with them, you won't. You will be forced to close, right? And so, you know, the people that are just like, I'm not doing it, like I don't care, I'm not doing it, your time is limited.
Yeah.
For that generation, and now where my kids are going to be, because my kids are in the alpha generation, I want my kids to be able to compete with, you know, their peers. Like if my girls want to start a business, like they better have the tools and skill sets to compete.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a big part of it. So I'm not going to neglect it. I just want to create enough in them to be able to use it for good as opposed to worshiping themselves through it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I
no.
don't want that.
That seems like a great strategy because, I mean, you can't avoid it these days. And it's like, because I think that there's a difference between being an active creator and a passive consumer. And social media is probably like the worst example, of like the gnarliest example of, are you either an active producer or a passive consumer? If you're just purely a passive consumer of Instagram, like there is a $100 billion company with all of those resources that are just like that, using you. They're like farming you for like data, information. But not just that, it's like they're just selling to you constantly. And so much of your like yourself, in a sense, like gets molded by like what you're shown, that you really have like no kind of control over, like the things that you buy, the places that you go, the thing, like culture's so shaped by those devices. And I think the antidote to that is to become some kind of creator in that ecosystem, because then you like can fully understand the relationship, like you understand how things work in a sense.
Right.
But I think that that's probably like the most balanced way to do it. But like, do the kids have like a pull to screens? Like, is it something that you notice in them, or do you think it's like how they're raised?
No, my kids, no, you give them a screen. They just want it in front of their face. They
That's-
won't
yeah,
let it
that-
go.
it seems like-
100%. You have to, like, what we do is we give them time frames, right? Like, you get to, play roadblocks, or you get to do something on the phone or the iPad for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And when that time is done, it is done. It's gone, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not just the kids. Like, dude, we can
we
fall into that trap.
bro,
like,
for
dude,
sure.
freaking how dangerous TikTok is. You pick that thing up, and seriously, 45 minutes later, you're like, where did my life just go? Right? Like, the algorithm is too brilliant
Yes.
for entrapment of our attention, or trapping our attention, right? And a kid, of course, right? Like, you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I get really worried about, is just like it's like gravity.
You just got to create rules. That's it. You just create rules. It's like what you're going to learn about kids, if or when you have kids, they're little sponges. Yeah. Like all they do is consume. Right? Yeah. It's like they're built for it. Like, I am at the age I just need to learn.
If it's not content, it's something.
It's 100%, right? They're going to watch what you do. They're going to listen to their friends. They're going to listen to the teacher. They're going to take something from a show. Like, they are in the age of
discovery.
Correct.
Yeah, just constant discovery.
Yeah, and so you got to be really careful with what you're giving to them, right? I mean, you're talking about the foundation. Like, you're talking about the most important kind of pivotal moment in what will become the next adults or the next generation running the show. Like, what foundation are you creating for them? And is it a strong one?
Yeah.
Like, you could, by not being involved, you're running the risk that their foundation is going to become weak.
Yeah.
And then when they become adults, you're running the risk of something breaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want that. Like, I want my kids to be able to go through challenge.
Yeah.
I want them to get hit with something hard and be able to get through it. I don't want the lightest little thing to break them.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.